How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Thursday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about. Got a huge weekend. This upcoming weekend is wild. We've got 4 shows in 48 hours. Night of Champions is Saturday morning. Great American Bash is Sunday. Slammiversary is Sunday. Forbidden Door is Sunday. And, there's no way to cover all this, but you know what? We're going to do our best. It'll all be covered on the front page. But as far as, me trying to watch all these shows, I don't even think it's actually possible because it's kind of hard to watch 2 shows at the same time. And by the time Forbidden Door is over, I got to do a show with Vinny and then a show with Dave. So we will try to watch the NXT show, hopefully by the time the next NXT takes place. But got to do what we got to do. So we'll go over all of the lineups for those shows. We got some notes from the weekend, potential new signings for TNA, current not signings for AEW. And, of course, we've got the some notes on the ratings from last week as well. An NXT wrestler, new Evolve Women's Champion. We'll tell you about that. Potentially a new TNA belt is on its way. Well, we need in wrestling more belts. And I think we got some Night of Champions odds, which are interesting, and plenty more. Plus, of course, the Dynamite report is coming up here later on today. Tonight, Bryan and Vinny show. Vinny and I will go 90 minutes talking about AEW and NXT. If you want all the details, we'll give you the quick update here on this show. But subscribers will get the whole shebang coming up later on tonight. So if you want to text us today, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4WOnline at gmail.com. F4W Online. Threads, Instagram, and Cameo at Bryan Alvarez. On X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment with Lance Storm, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We all went to the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in the Tacoma Dome. What a dump.
They've remodeled in the last 5 years.
I don't want to watch a show in the Tacoma Dome. I'm over that part of my life.
So this is all about
I
you,
want
okay.
It is all about me. It's my show.
Yep.
Sick of these crappy dumps.
Rico. Yes. Rico Constantino.
Mm-hmm.
When Rico Constantino showed up on the screen, I almost fainted.
If you would have slapped me with a bass, I would have been less surprised.
A bass,
Yeah.
you say?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Now, you mean the fish or a bass, the instrument?
No, a bass.
Well, he would have said a bass if he meant a bass.
Shibata hooks a rear naked choke, and Shibata's shoulders were down, and the referee counted 3.
I don't care what happened in Florida in 1973.
That is an Eddie Graham babyface finish when he wanted to heel to get a fluke win.
The crowd hated it.
Hated it.
You know, people are upset that Adam Cole's back as a babyface or whatever.
Why?
But, dude, he's been gone for a year. So they obviously want to do Adam Cole and MJF. MJF is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Adam Cole is coming back as a babyface.
Yes. Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and Ricochet. My rating for this match was 1 zillion stars. I believe this may be my new favorite 3-way ever. John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
You have to
Not a
say it in
fun
such a
match.
sad way.
Yes! It was sad. It was a sad match.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, before we even get to the post-match. The whole thing, start to finish, was sad. It was meant to bum you, the fans, out.
It worked.
It worked. It elicited emotions, which is what art is supposed to do.
It was very much like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels when Undertaker retired him, and that's exactly what happened, is everyone just slowly stood up and quietly, sadly walked out of the building that night.
There was one gentleman that was walking by us, and he was dripping in Bryan Danielson's merchandise.
Hmm.
And he was wailing, and he cried, forget my language, I can't believe they punked out my favorite wrestler like a bitch. And he was so
Wow.
upset.
And we go into that press conference. All I got to say about Don Callis is, man, I can't help but notice he's got a big mouth when he's got Takeshita right next to him, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was a scintillating question. And I think maybe after that, we're finally, the Bryan and Vinny show might actually just be the Bryan show. That was producer Rob level stuff right there. Need to work on your game a little bit. Okay. Next.
Rob's so excited and happy now. He texted me today. So it looks like I'm feuding with Don Callis. Ha ha. That's what he texted me.
That's not the way I took it at all. I looked at his wiener and now he's mad at me. Duh.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us here today. What's going on, Lance?
Not much. Just having a busy day.
Look at that shirt.
Yep.
We need to get you more Hawaiian shirts so that you got something different every day, you know?
Well, I was running around and pressed for time, so it was easier just to grab the same one.
Actually, you should just wear the same one every single day forever. Just, it's got to be either one or the other. Different one every day or the same one every single day.
Well, then it'll be the same one every day.
A trademark of sorts. But you do have to grow the mustache.
Yeah, I don't like the chances of that happening.
Man, oh man. Well, tonight is Impact, and there's a World Title Summit with Nick Nemeth and Mike Santana. We've got Mr. Elegant, Cedric Alexander, Frankie Kazarian versus Fabian Eichner, Leon Slater, and Casey Navarro. That's I guess a ladder match tease, kind of like they did with AEW a while back.
Yes, it's a 6-man tag, though. There's no ladder told to paper.
Yes, but the same people are wrestling.
Actually, that's the Ultimate X guys.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said ladder.
I think you did. Zaya Brookside and Harley Hudson. Mara Sade and Ash by Elegance. Moose will appear. And AJ Francis will be in action. That's the lineup for the show tonight, which I presume is taped, right?
Yes, sir.
That deal? All right. And then, of course, there's the TNA pay-per-view this weekend. Slammiversary. They got about 3,000 tickets out. Last I checked. Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth for the title. Lei Ying Lee versus Zaya Brookside for the Knockouts title. Brian Myers and Bear Bronson against the Hardys and the Righteous in a ladder match. Got Moose versus Eddie Edwards. That Ultimate X match we talked about, which is not a ladder match, although I guess... Actually, can you use a ladder in an Ultimate X match? Do you have to climb across those cables?
I believe it was done once, but I would imagine, not to break kayfabe, but with a ladder match on the show, I can't imagine Ultimate X will be using any ladders.
But there's no DQs, right?
Yes, I think you could technically do it.
Somebody needs to bring a ladder to this match.
I think they have, but I'd be willing to bet they won't in this match, seeing that the Hardys have a ladder match. I would imagine we'll
Who's the
that.
biggest idiot in storyline? Mr. Elegance?
He's a bit of a goofball, yeah.
Okay, he needs to show up with a ladder, but it's too short. Tommy's gone. Like, is there an opening for me there? Mustafa Ali against TBA. Ricky Sosa versus Eric Young. Elegance Brand against Ali and Rosemary. And AJ
titles.
Francis against Elijah. So this TBA, who's it going to be, Lance?
I have no idea. I texted you asking if you knew, because I know you'd hear before me.
Well, I did hear a rumor. I don't even want to mention it because I was like, that's who. But it's supposedly a former multi-time champion in WWE, but they haven't said male, female, anything like that. So there was a story out today that TNA is interested in Apollo Crews, and he was part of the roster cuts in April 24th. So April, May, June.
Well, I have no knowledge, but I'd like to think with our relationship with WWE, if we were interested in the dude and he wanted to come to us, they wouldn't hold tight to their no-compete.
Yeah.
But again, I have no knowledge. It's easier to do the show if I don't.
So. Oh, yeah, it's June, isn't it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But again, I'd like to think our relationship's good enough that
you'd think so.
They wouldn't hold too tight on the 90 days if he wanted to come and we wanted to use him.
He's a former Intercontinental and United States champion. This is all the things they said. I guess we shall find out.
Find out Sunday.
And also a new title, allegedly. Dave says it's a women's television title. We just heard a secondary women's title, whatever it'll end up being called. But yeah, something else, I guess, for the women in TNA. It would be a Knockouts TV title. Is that it?
I would imagine so. That is the term we still use.
What do you think about all these belts? Do we need more belts in TNA? Let's be honest.
I'm not a fan of a lot of belts, but I can see with the men having 3 singles titles, someone thinking we should add a women's.
Well, you have the Knockouts World.
Knockouts Tag.
Knockouts Tag.
Potentially this one.
But those are the only ones right now.
Currently, yes.
Okay.
And the men have the Tag, the X, the World, and the International.
See, the thing to me is, listen, I'm all about, whoa, that was a lot of me that just came out right there. I'm all about, equality and everything, but it's not really equality if it's not equality across the board. Do you know what I mean? Let me explain. So, okay, you've got a promotion, and you've got a men's world title, a men's intercontinental title, a men's U.S. title if you have 2 brands or whatever. And so there's the obvious thought, well, we should have the same number of belts for the women, okay? But the problem is, and this was the case when they made that, remember when they debuted the WWE Women's United States title or whatever? It was sort of like, at the time that they did it, you could go on the SmackDown roster, and it was like, they had 7 women. And then it's like, you have 7 women, but you need a world and a U.S. championship? Like, or maybe there would be 7 women, maybe it was like 13 women or something. But the point is, like, if you don't have the same number of men and women in the promotion, well, right there, it's not equal. And then you have to start thinking about, well, if you have 40 men, then it makes sense to have 2 belts amongst 40 men. If you have 40 men and 13 women, it doesn't really make sense that you would need 2 belts for 13 women.
Not without expanding the women's roster.
Exactly. And so with TNA, it's like, yes, you have women's tag and you have the women's world, or the Knockouts World. I mean, are there enough women to make a additional women's television title viable? Or is it just like, if you have so few women, then it's kind of just like, you get the TV title for a while, which is not what you want, I think. But
We've got a fairly deep Knockouts roster, so we'll see if we manage to feature them better.
I guess I could have just looked, huh? That would have been easier, wouldn't it?
It's always possible. You could look.
I could ask Google.
There you go.
All right.
Ask the Google.
List of total nonstop action personnel. Okay, so for the men, basically we got a full page of men here. And for the women, we got 3/4 of a page. So without counting, there actually are a fair amount of
knockouts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you have 17 women.
Yeah, it's a deep roster.
17 women. Some of whom, like M by Elegance, she's a Knockouts Tag Team Champion. She didn't even have a Wikipedia. Someone's got to do something about that.
Maggie Lee doesn't have a Wikipedia?
It says right here. M by Elegance, Maggie Peters, no Wikipedia. How about that? Yeah, you got more men, but it's not like way more men.
And we have 3 men's singles titles and currently 1 women's singles title.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, got about 30 men. 30 men, 17 women. So it's almost double the amount of men, but all right, that was a waste of time. Well, we were talking yesterday about Jack Perry, and Dave was asking on the show, like, is he re-signed yet? And I said, as of last week, no. Well, I can now report that as of today, no. Jack Perry is not re-signed with AEW. And Tony Khan is doing a press gimmick right now, as we call it in the biz, a press gimmick. And he does indicate that he wants Jack Perry to be around for a long time. But at this point, Jack Perry is not re-signed. So we'll end up seeing how things go. Tony had a lot of answers. Tony's sometimes one of those guys that doesn't answer any questions. But he did have a bunch of answers here, believe it or not. Including, he was asked, would you have any interest in buying TNA if it were up for sale? And normally he would say, like, oh, TNA is a great company, this and that. But instead he said how much. And the number they threw out was $40 million. And he said no. He said TNA has value, but it would have to be at the right price. And his top priority is not acquisition right now. And he's had no serious conversations about it. It could be interesting, he said, if the price was right. But he said that was the way with a lot of things in life. That was a good answer, Tony. Back in a moment.
I'm not spending $40 million for it either.
Nah, not on my list. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe. Hey, listen, we're going to start with the real main event of the weekend. We witnessed with our own eyes Minoru Suzuki versus Butterbean with Dan Severn as the special guest referee. The worst match in the history of professional wrestling.
We all knew it was going to be a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
I said, this is going to be a train wreck. I want to see this train wreck. I must see this train wreck.
I will give credit to Butterbean. Butterbean was very, very fat, and I don't think that he could walk. And he spent a lot of time with DDP.
Yes.
Did a lot of DDP yoga.
Yes.
And DDP literally got him back on his feet.
Yeah.
The entire first round is just like standing there. And the brawling's kind of like, and Suzuki throws, he finally gives him a good one. How'd you like that one? So Butterbean falls to the ground by holding onto the top rope, squatting down a little, grabbing the middle rope, squatting down a little further, and then he lays on the ground. The crowd's chanting "Fight Forever," which sounds like a horrible idea.
Yes.
So the ring announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have just heard from the special enforcer, Dan the Beast Severn. He has ruled that the match is a double countout." And the fans are like, "What? Boo!" And they're all angry. And I'm like, this is the most ballsy match I've ever seen. I heard a rumor that Suzuki was talking to someone before the show about this match. And he was like, "This match, very bad." And the person was like, "Minoru, dude, it's going to be fine. Like, you can do this. You're great. This match is going to end up fine." And Suzuki said, "No." That was it. Okay. And I got in just in time to see Minoru Suzuki versus the Sex Doll. And people were very upset that I did not refer to the Sex Doll by her name.
Yoshihiko.
I have great respect for the Sex Doll as a non-person because the Sex Doll is not a person. But there's a reason.
It's a doll.
There's a reason.
For sex.
Is he going to wrestle a sex doll and have a better match with a doll than he had with Butterbean? And the answer is yes.
Emphatically. The Butterbean match exposed the business much more than this match.
Yes, in fact it did.
The match with the Sex Doll was far more realistic. It was far more believable. It was far more credible. I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating or making this up.
All right, so according to this bloke, the Dudleys once won Ultimate X with a ladder.
They won it. Was it a tag team Ultimate X? Like, what?
I don't know. Team 3D won Ultimate X with a ladder once, as the person said. I don't know how. Maybe it was a tag team one.
It's traditionally a X Division match.
Have you ever watched TNA back in the day, Lance? They did a lot of things differently, my friend.
Yeah, the barbed wire Christmas tree.
All right.
One of the greatest show reviews ever.
Hated that show. Not going to lie. All right. Well, we got to talk about Night of Champions here. So the betting odds are out. I don't know what these mean right now, But like in the old days, there would be these betting odds, and then right before the show, there would be dramatic shifts because folks in WWE found out the finishes and went and bet money on it. So the odds are whatever the odds makers think up until like the day before or the day of the show. I don't know how dramatically they swing nowadays, but it was a thing back in the day. And these odds are interesting. Steel cage match. I mean, I actually read these odds and I'm like, I hope no one has inside information. Because,
is this
like,
Forbidden Door or
No, this is Night of Champions.
They have a cage match?
Yeah.
No.
Where have you been? Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. It's in a cage. And the odds makers have it at minus 120, minus 120. It's even, which I think is stupid because obviously Braun Breaker has to win that match. They first Braun Breaker beat him. Then they did that stupid rematch and Seth won, which was just nonsensical. And now they're doing the third match. And like in what universe does Seth Rollins need to be beating Braun Breaker in 2026? How are those odds even?
When you fight a dog in a cage, the dog always gets out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You hear me? Then in the King of the Ring tournament, Oba Femi is a very slight favorite over Jey Uso. Minus 110 Oba, minus 130 Jey Uso. So that's rather...
They think Brock's flying all the way to Saudi for a run-in?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure he'd be paid a lot of money for that run-in. Like, listen, if Saudi's going to pay me $1 million to go out there and wrestle or do a run-in, one's easier money. We'll just put it that way. But I don't know what they're going to do that day. Cody, Sammy, and Gunther. This one just, I find it rather baffling. I mean, when they added Sammy to the match, I was like, all right, well, I guess Sammy's getting his trophy finally. Sami Zayn wins the title in Saudi Arabia. Cody is the favorite, the heavy favorite, minus 500. Sammy and Gunther are both at plus 300. So I don't know what's happening. Trick Williams, heavy favorite over Ricky Saints, minus 3,000. I think that's a safe bet. They got Io Sky, minus 600 over Liv Morgan. So Io's the favorite there. And Jade and Tiffany is also almost neck and neck, minus 130, minus 110. So a pick 'em there, as they say. So I think I'm looking at everything very differently. I think Braun wins, no question. I don't know what they're doing with Jay and Oba. Won't lie about that one. Io and Liv can go either way because either of them could face Rhea Ripley, but probably will be Io. And
I would think if Io wins, she would challenge the champion that she just beat.
I suppose you could do that, but that'd be weird.
Well, it takes Rhea out of the equation if her knee's not good.
Well, if she's not, yeah. I think actually that's the safest bet because if Rhea cannot wrestle, then you just do Io and Liv for the title. Whereas if Liv wins and Rhea can't wrestle, then you're kind of screwed. So yeah, Io should win that one. And then Trick and Ricky, I mean, that's obvious. And then for Jade and Tiffany, I don't know. Does Jade just need to go win that title back? I presume Tiffany's winning. So we'll see what happens. Hey, here's a plan for the weekend, everybody. So, yes, believe it or not, Vinny and I are going to watch the WWE show live, starting at 10 a.m. And we will go immediately afterwards with the post show. So if you are a video subscriber, or if you want to use your Amazon Prime to get a free Twitch subscription, you can watch the post show immediately after Night of Champions. So that's going to be Saturday. And then Sunday, we're going to be watching the AEW pay-per-view live. And
come on,
going live immediately afterwards for that one as well. Well, there's too many shows that day, Lance. But Vinny is going to watch Slammiversary. I think for his
Tuesday review?
I think for his Tuesday show, yes. And I don't know when I'm going to watch Great American Bash, but it's pretty much impossible to try to watch it on Sunday. I don't know what these promotions are thinking with all these shows. It's ridiculous.
They're hoping you choose their show and not the other.
Yeah, he wants to know if I'm cooking steak and eggs breakfast for Vinny. First off, no, I don't eat breakfast. You kidding me? And I've never made him eggs. Eggs? No, not happening. What else do we have? We went over Slammiversary. We got Great American Bash. Old Tony D against Naraku. Think Tony D's in trouble. Think Naraku's going to win when the new House of Torture shows up. Can't wait. God, maybe I do need to watch this show. Lola and Kendall. So, I mean, if this were like a competent wrestling organization, then Kendall Gray would win. But it's not. It's NXT. And so my guess is that Lola beats Kendall Gray again. Kendall loses multiple matches. And then they decide that she's going to be the champion in 2028, but she gets called up first. So that's what I think is going to happen there. For being
You
honest.
have such great faith.
I have absolutely no faith in this place right now. None. Zilch. If they want to, if they want to change things, then it's going to take a while to prove it to me. Right now, I just presume it's the same incompetence. Zarya and Tatum Paxley. I mean, Zarya should win that one. She just won the title. Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. For some reason, I just feel like Miles Bourne is going to go heel and screw Tavion or something. They got to do some sort of goofy, nonsensical swerve there. Ren Sinclair against Ariana Grace for the Speed title. I don't know, man. I don't know. Tristan Angels and Shiloh Hill. I mean, Shiloh's probably just going to beat the guy. And Saquon and Dion, like, in no universe should Saquon be losing to Dion Lennox, but it's NXT, and so I figure, like, they'll screw the guy somehow. And then we'll have some stip match or something later on down the road. But yeah, that's that. And I think that's all the shows, right? Is everything this weekend? We went over
I think that's
Slammiversary.
enough.
Yeah, we did
You
that.
didn't run down Forbidden Door, but
Well, we could talk a little bit about that as we do the Dynamite report. But Forbidden Door is also one of those matches where, I mean, it just seems like it's all too obvious for the vast majority of these matches. Should I do it? Well, obviously in the Steel Cage match, Team Briscoe's going to win. You know, he should pin MJF, but I don't think that's going to happen after Dynamite, but we'll see. Mercedes and Maya World. I mean, that one, I'm sure people can argue that one, but I think Maya World's winning. That's what I think is happening. And Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Obviously, Ospreay's going to Wembley. Tekla and Starlight Kid. Tekla's winning that one. Moxley and Bandito was not even supposed to take place on the show, so I don't see any universe where Bandito wins. Copeland and Cage are not losing the World Tag Team titles to the Dogs. Kenny Omega's fighting for the title in the next show, so he's not losing to Zack Sabre Jr. Shota Umino is not losing the Global Championship to Pac. I don't think he's going to New Japan regularly. Young Bucks, I'm sure, are winning the three-way because they're going to Wembley for the title match. And Divine Dominion, I do not see any universe where they lose to Thunder Rosa and Olympia. That about cover it? Mox is not screwing Will. What are we doing in this chat here, guys? Mox is not screwing Will. Now, I could see... So, everyone's talking about this... Maya World Mercedes Moné deal. And let's just put it this way. Who's champion right now? MJF for the men? I expect MJF to lose to Kenny Omega. And they do Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Wembley. So the point... Was that?
I said, really?
I do. So the point is, we have a lot of time between now and Wembley. So Maya World winning does not mean that Maya World is facing Tekla at Wembley. So I could see a situation where somebody beats Tekla and they face Maya World at the show. Now, the easiest thing, and I could see Tony doing this because, you know, the way he does things, I can see Maya World beating Mercedes in the finals. Mercedes beats Tekla to win the title. And then Maya World beats Mercedes, or Mercedes beats Maya World at Wembley. I guess Mercedes would beat Maya in the title match.
The woman losing in the title shot match should not get a world title before the winner. That's terrible booking, Brian.
Well, the winner of the Owen Hart tournament is getting their title shot at Wembley.
Doesn't matter. Sends a bad message. If the person fighting for the title shot gets it quicker if they lose, they kind of makes the Owen pointless.
Dude, we see that all the time. Like the winner of the Royal
Doesn't mean
Rumble.
it's right, Brian.
The
Doesn't
winner
mean
of
it's
the
right.
Royal Rumble, somebody gets a title shot before the winner of the Royal Rumble every year for the past 25 years. Because there's a show in between the Rumble and the big show. Like, the prize is not just a title match. It's on the big show is where you get your title match. Would you rather fight for the world title at Elimination Chamber in Saudi or WrestleMania?
I'd rather win it and defend it at Mania.
Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. I think this show was like the best and worst of AEW.
The earliest story of this show was somebody almost died in every match. I thought MJF's head was going to fall off his body.
It looked like he put his own head into the mat as hard as he could.
Momo kicks Mercedes. Mercedes might have a bruised larynx.
I was certain Swerve had broken his neck.
Man, this dude landed right on his head.
Mariah May versus Toni Storm.
Good Lord.
Mariah gets her hands on a champagne bottle and smashes it right into Tony's crotch.
Some guy in the front row holds up a sign that goes, "For the sickos!"
It sure was.
It's like, well, goddamn, this was for the sickos, all
As
right.
sick as you can get.
Yes.
I did not have glass to the vajayjay on my bingo card. For
I don't
this
know
year.
why not.
I
in
certainly
this
hope
field,
not.
You should have.
What kind of bingo are we playing over there? And the two big screens just read, "The End." This, in hindsight, absolutely should have ended the show.
Maybe it should have. However, I can't guarantee that this match was going to be this good with this much heat 5 hours into the live show.
Well, there's that.
Following all those matches we saw.
That is
Like,
true.
every time people say this should main event, it's like, are you sure you want that? Then we had Takeshita and Kenny. Another incredible match.
What is up with they have an announcer that wears a mask?
Oh, no. God, please, not this.
What is-
Anyway, the match.
What is that about?
I actually was fixing to give Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher the highest star rating on the show, but I would say that by the last 3-4 minutes, I was like, well, you did a little too much here. People are going to be mad, but it's true. We didn't need the Spanish fly off the top of the cage. This match would have been as good or better without it.
The penis first Styles clash into the tax.
That should be a finish.
That should be a career ender. It is tomb silent.
Oh, yeah, this crowd's dead.
They've seen every single goddamn thing two human beings can do to each other, and now men are grappling.
And Jason here goes, it's go away heat, Brian. He sucks. Listen, do you guys know what go away heat is?
Listen.
There were 11,000 people in this building. It's just like when people hated Jericho. There still is no evidence that he actually ran anybody off. They just didn't want him. Like, there's a difference. You want a different champion, but who is quitting AEW because Jon Moxley retained tonight?
Put the belt on Swerve immediately, as soon as possible. It could be me, it could be you, it could be Mark, anyone.
I don't want it.
Just,
I don't want
it's run its course.
All right. Golly, this Moxley has heat with these people. What did you think, Mark?
Oh, I'm coming for you now. I punched him in the diverticulatus. Piss like a sprinkler.
Go
Back
out, and
forth,
we are going to do
back
what was
and
billed.
forth.
No, not like this.
There was more. There was.
It's not for me. Why do you like it?
No,
so
Jason.
much? Are you guys on Tony's payroll?
Back at the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. This idiot Lance is joining us today. Speaking of idiots, tell me about how you didn't watch Dynamite tonight.
Yeah, well, last night, but TSN screwed me. TSN has the majority of World Cup rights in Canada, and my DVR did not record it. And when I went to see if maybe it'd be aired later, it just had World Cup all over all of the TSN channels. So I don't know if it got bumped to the TSN app, to a different time slot, or one of the TSN channels my DVR wouldn't recognize, but it was not recorded. So
Did you at least review what you watched?
I didn't watch any of it because it didn't record.
Wow. No, what did record? Did you watch that?
Nothing recorded.
Oh, I thought the World Cup.
No, it's programmed to tape AEW Dynamite on TSN,
I
not
see.
just something in a time slot.
That's weird.
And I have it set for any time, any channel, so...
Well, you missed the funniest thing all year. Did you see this on the internet?
Will Ospreay
falling into a
on his
bathtub. What a geek.
We're live, pal.
I died. Moxley's giving the Death Riders... Actually, the funniest thing about it wasn't even Will Ospreay. Moxley's giving the Death Riders a pep talk. They all start to do their group huddle dance gimmick, and they yank Ospreay in there, and they all dance around in a circle, and then they separate, and this geek steps backwards and falls into a freaking bathtub. And, like, time stands still. And the actual funniest thing was Moxley, because this guy freaking falls into a bathtub on accident. And without breaking character for an instant, Moxley looks at this guy. And he's out of here. Doesn't laugh, doesn't break character. He's like, man fell in bathtub. Now let's go kill somebody.
Wheeler, on the other hand, he laughed.
These other guys just freaking... Wheeler starts laughing. He leaves. I forget what Marina said, but she looked at him and made some comment like, dust yourself off or something, but she's trying not to crack. She leaves. And then Ospreay stands up, and he looks over at
Garcia,
and they stare at each other. And then Garcia starts to crack. And then Will Ospreay just starts laughing, turns his back, looks back, and they cut away. It's like, oh my God. And he went and tweeted something about it. So anyway, I watched it about 16 times. It's funnier every time.
I saw it 4 or 5 online.
Oh, my God. Then Brodito and Mystico face... The story of this show is this. It's the go-home show for the pay-per-view. And, you know, because this guy's a maniac, he's like, I'm just going to book 8 great matches in 2 hours. And granted, it went 2 hours and 17 minutes, but it was like, I'm just going to book 8 matches in 2 hours. Oh, my God. Kidding me? Today's news. Wrestling Observer's Alvarez says WWE and AEW lack gripping storylines. Wow. I made today's news on this Twitter gimmick. But anyway, so they're doing this match, or the story of the show is he wants 8 great matches in 2 hours. And so the only way to do that is like the longest match was 13 minutes. The shortest match was 5 minutes. And, you know, it was all fine and everything like that, but I don't know why you can't just book less matches, but give them more time, if the idea of the matches is just to have great matches. There's nothing wrong with the show. It was just, I mean, they were like, you know, these people come down to the ring, we got to jump them during the entrance. The match ends, the next match is already heading to the ring. It was boom, 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 boom. So it was a very weird go-home show, as far as, like, there weren't a lot of angles, there weren't a lot of interviews. It was just, like, a bunch of matches. So, Brody and Mystico versus the Death Riders. Brodito and Mystico gets the Death Riders. Rushed match by Dynamite standards. And a total heel finish. You know, the Death Riders, they've been baby faces. You know, Moxley's a baby face most of the time. They're helping Ospreay on his way to Wembley. But total heel finish. They just distract the referee. Claudio hits Brody with the Continental title. Moxley gets the pin when the ref turns around. And that was that. So Moxley pinning Brody sets up this Moxley Bandito match for the Continental title at the pay-per-view. Don't ask me why. Team Conglomeration are backstage. And I think they did something involving Leo Rush. But I didn't see Leo Rush. And the only reason I know that is because people on the board were claiming that's what happened. But at the end of this segment, it was just Orange and Renee look at each other and then run off. It was just bizarre. We had Marina and Harley Cameron in a survival of the fittest match. And it's pretty good. It was short, but it was pretty good for what it was. And Marina did a counter into a choke. Harley rolled backwards, pinned her. Harley is on her way to the survival of the fittest next week for the vacant TBS title. We had Will Ospreay and ELP, and this was just, you know, go out there for, I can't remember how much time they had. I don't think this was one of the 13-minute matches. Maybe it was. But they had about as good a match as you could have in the time they had, and ELP looked great. Ospreay hit a counter into a Styles Clash, Hidden Blade, and pinned him. Not surprising that he would win heading into this Owen Hart finale. And then Swerve faced Daniel Garcia. And the story here was that he hit a Styles Clash, and then he was going to go up top for his finish, but instead he changed his mind and hit the Hidden Blade and got the pin. Will Ospreay's move. And then he goes to break Garcia's arm. Will runs down to make the save. Nana grabs Will's foot. Swerve hits a house call. Swerve goes for a vertebreaker. Garcia makes a save. Swerve gives Garcia the vertebreaker, and then Ospreay makes the save. So they did a quick little angle to set up the Swerve Ospreay match. We had a Don Callis family backstage meeting with MJF, and they further built up the MJF Andrade match, which is coming up at some point. And Don revealed a new Team MJDCF shirt.
You gonna get one, Brian?
I'm sure I can get a comp, but it's like the paintings that they did with Don and Takeshita, but it's Don and Max. He holds up this shirt, and the rest of the Don Callis family is just like, oh.
AJ Francis would not be impressed with this shirt.
God. He wants them all to wear it at the show. Zack Sabre Jr. and Jungle Boy. They had a good match. Zack tied him in a knot and submitted him. This led immediately to the Young Bucks versus TMDK, which had to be the shortest Young Bucks match, I think, in AW history. I think they went like 5 minutes. And just to step up from a squash. Obviously, they won with whatever their driver is. I think they're going to call it the Lance Storm driver, the last I heard. And then out comes Sabre. They all attack the Bucks. Kenny and Jack Perry make the save. Kenny cuts a promo saying, this Sunday, Zach, you're going to end up forgotten just like you were last year. And then Zach says, Kenny, try to stay out of the hospital. That's the build for their match.
So they actually had 2 Forbidden Door type matches on the Go Home show to Forbidden Door?
It was funny because everyone's complaining there aren't any Forbidden Door type matches on Forbidden Door, but on the Go Home show for Forbidden Door, yes, we got Forbidden Door matches. That was interesting. Queen Aminata and Red Velvet Survival of the Fittest qualifier. Boy, this match was something. So, the first part of the match is just like, it's like an NXT women's match. Like, just choreograph everything and go 50 miles an hour. And then they went to break. This is the funniest thing on the show. And I don't know whose fault it was, but they went to break. And so we saw the match in picture-in-picture, or whatever you want to call it. So they come back from commercial, but they don't blow the screen back up. So we watched like 5 minutes of this match in this little tiny window with nothing else filling up the entire screen. I was like, did somebody fall asleep? What's going on here? And then Aminata hit a headbutt, running knee, got the pin. This match, I wrote, certainly ran the gamut. I'll say that. And we had a Young Bucks promo, and they're interrupted by Cage, Copeland, and the Dogs, who brawl into scene. The Bucks say, you guys all right? Cope and Cage say, yeah, we're all right. It's going great. They're beating these dogs. I was like, oh my God, could you make these dogs look like bigger geeks? But the dogs, in fact, got hairspray when they got backstage. Sprayed Cope and Cage in the eyeballs, choked him out with cords, and then screamed, who's teaching who? So that's the build for their match. And then we had Takeshita and Ricochet for the international title. This was the longest match on the show. Best match on the show. And they just went out there and tried to have, let's have the best match we can possibly have. Ricochet took most of the match. And they had a weird spot there at the end where Takeshita goes for the running knee. And what it looked like to me is he goes for the knee, and the ref stops him because, he needs to check on the other guy. I was so mad. I was infuriated. And then the announcers go, Ricochet pulled the referee in front. I was like, he did? I didn't see that. Rewound it. I'm still not sure that's what actually happened. And whatever happened, the crowd didn't see it because they chanted, ref, you suck. So that kind of was no good. But then Ricochet goes for the spirit gun. Takeshi hits a lariat, running knee, raging fire, gets the pin, and he retains the international title. Mark Briscoe then came out and cut a promo, and made fun of MJF and everything like that. Callis comes out, calls him crazy. It's a distraction. MJF jumps him from behind. And then, this was like, those old martial arts movies where like there's the good guy, and then the bad guys come at him one at a time, and he takes out the one guy, then the next guy runs in, he takes him out, and you just kind of wonder, like, why didn't all the bad guys go after him at the same time? Well, they wanted all the people in the 12-man tag to get involved in a giant brawl, but they literally did it that way. So MJF jumps Mark. Kyle runs down alone. He takes out Mark. Takeshita runs down alone, takes out Kyle. Okada runs down alone, takes out Takeshita. Kyle runs down alone. I'm like, everyone come out at the same time. Nope. One, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And they keep teasing that Briscoe can't get MJF with the J Driller. And so, of course, I'm thinking, well, that's going to be the finish at the pay-per-view. He's going to finally hit it, pin him. But in fact, at the end of this segment, he grabbed him, and he hit it. I was like, ah! So now I don't think that Mark is pinning Max on Sunday. I think there's someone else is going to get pinned. But Mark will still get his championship against MJF. Doesn't matter who pins who. If Mark's team wins, he gets a shot at MJF's title. So I presume that's what's going to happen. My guess is they probably don't want to pin Max 2 straight pay-per-views, but I've been wrong before, so...
and will be again.
I don't know about that. Can't predict the future, but I can tell you about the past. I have been wrong before, admittedly. So anyway, that was a show. I thought it was a good show. It was just... it was very different from your normal AEW show. And I actually, honestly, I think if they would have had 5 great matches with more time... I think it would have been better than just trying to jam 8 matches into 2 hours. So that was that. Tomorrow's Collision, Saturday's Collision. They did tape Collision, and the lineup, no spoilers. Mercedes and Athena versus Maya World and Hyan. Kevin Knight against Desmond Xavier for the TNT title. Jake Doyle versus Adam Priest. Mystico and Mike Bailey versus Premier Athletes. Persephone versus Billy Starks for the CMLL women's title, and Chris Jericho versus JD Drake. Sorry, I tried to say all of those with a straight face and not give spoilers. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Granny, what have you got today?
Okay, everybody be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Google, tell us a joke.
What's the most musical part of a turkey? The drumsticks.
Ba-da-cha.
Hey, Google, you suck.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
The guilt in the response.
Hey, Google, that's enough. Hey, Google.
Shut your hole.
Hey, Google.
Hi there, I'm listening.
Oh, jeez.
How can I help today?
Hey, Google. Shut up.
How can I be of service?
No, that won't quit.
God.
Hey, Google. No more. Stop.
This is how the war with the robots begins.
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
Granny, I will pay you $100 to read that again, please.
Yeah, can you read more?
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with O.P. in 1992?
You somehow made it better. Oh, period. P
Stop the show
period.
now. We have peaked.
P period.
Please send those edits to Brian's email.
Are you down with O.P. On the show, The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Sheldon are both physicists. What is there? At what?
What the hell just happened right there?
Physicists?
Yes.
Physicists?
Yes.
Yeah. I lost my track.
You lost your crack.
You were at Sisyphus.
In what city was Nipar
Brooks.
Shakur shot and killed?
Excuse me, say that again.
In what city was Tupac?
Tupac. Vegas.
Vegas Strip.
Join us.
Thank
Yeah, you know, we got a trip to the Vegas trip, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can get shot too.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Google, take a nap. Hey, Google, wake up. Hey, Google, are you awake?
Here's a YouTube music station called Are You Awake?
Hey, Google, stop.
The show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us here today. Oh, what a night we got. Got TNA.
On AMC, 9 p.m.
TNA on AMC, 9 p.m. A World Title Summit with Nick Nemeth and Mike Santana. And much more. That's coming up tonight. Tonight is also the Bryan and Vinny Show for subscribers. Sign up at f4wonline.com, video.f4wonline.com, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And you can watch all of our members-only shows, 84 shows a month, minimum. Usually more. 84 a month, and if you love Observer Live, you get commercial-free episodes as a subscriber. And you'll get the Bryan and Vinny Show tonight, AEW and NXT reviews. And then as noted, Vinny and I will be up immediately after the WWE pay-per-view Saturday and the AEW pay-per-view Sunday. And then on other shows, we'll cover Slammiversary and the NXT show. So a lot of stuff for subscribers. Dave and I were up last night, Dave Meltzer. Filthy and I are going to be on for Fun Friday tomorrow. We may have more excitement on Fun Friday. You never know. But that's coming up tomorrow. And you should check it all out at f4wonline.com, everybody. And that's it. So thanks to Lance as always. Callers and listeners over the studio. Talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.